What's up, guys? This is Patty, and this is gonna be a rant video. So this is just something that's been on my mind for a while. So what's happened in the community? Honestly, does anyone remember CoD 4, or even before that during Call of Duty 3 or previous? This was back before the days of commentary, montages, trick shotting. It was when it didn't matter what your KD was, what your win-loss was, what gun you were using, what perk setup you were using. And then we fast forward to the present, and we notice what exactly has happened in the past years. The publishers of these games, being Infinity Ward and Treyarch, and their parent company, Activision, they have their hands in it, obviously. But it's not just them, it's us. It's the consumers and the players of the game. If you look at the past years, and you find what went wrong, it becomes pretty apparent. And this was post-CoD 4. Every game release that's ever come out, I'm not even talking Call of Duty, every game that's ever come out has always had problems. Even if it's like minor graphical errors, it's always had some sort of problem. And it's not fun anymore. Stats have become the basis of everything in this game. If you don't have a good KD or win-loss that's above a certain number or a certain percentage, you're automatically a bad player. If you use a certain weapon or a certain perk setup, you're automatically a bad player. If you quickscope, you're a bad player. But if you don't quickscope, you're a bad player. This is what's happened in the past 5 years since Call of Duty 4. This is basically the evolution since Call of Duty 4. So CoD 4 gave us perks, custom classes, and prestiges. Before CoD 4, there was CoD 3. CoD 3 technically had kill streaks. World at War gave us zombies. It didn't really improve on anything that CoD 4 gave us other than zombies. Modern Warfare 2 introduced pro perks and more selectable kill streaks. Black Ops gave us theater and more zombies, and theater was something completely new. And Modern Warfare 3 gave us Spec Ops, Specialist, and the new variation of kill streaks being Support, Assault, Specialist. Backtrack to Modern Warfare 2. There was no support for it. Modern Warfare 2 is the reason why we have hackers and modders. If there was support for Modern Warfare 2, if people had gotten banned and they would patch things, it wouldn't have been as bad. The game would have been playable. And this is basically where their community changed for the worst. It was the era of everyone wanting to do montages and commentaries. It was the era where people didn't have to play the game to actually finish it. You could pay $20 or 1,600 Microsoft points, or even if you knew somebody, and get a full 10th prestige with all your camos unlocked without lifting a finger. What happens now? Even the community's base player age has dropped. The younger players who are new to the CoD franchise think it's okay to do things such as boost, mod, and hack. The same thing that took most of us hours on end to accomplish. I remember back in CoD 4, where being a young kid wasn't a huge deal. I was 15 when CoD 4 came out. I bought that thing used. I think I paid like $30 for it. And this was back before you had to pay $60 for a game. This was back when I think it was like 40 or $50. And what does that $60 get us now? A refurbished game with shitty DLC. I wasn't good at CoD 4. I was decent, but I was far from good. I wasn't anywhere near where I am now. But I was able to stand against other players that were equal in skill as me. If you came across a good player, you knew he was a good player. He would whoop your ass from top to bottom map. And you were fine with it, because it was all about fun. Now here we are 5 years later. All of that is gone. There's no skill in this game anymore. There's no differential between being a bad player and being a good player. Now it's all about the guns you use, the perks you use. Does anyone remember the models from Modern Warfare 2? They got nerfed twice. They're still good, but you need to be good with them. The models used to basically be able to one-shot people from hallway end to hallway end on Terminal. For those of you who haven't played Modern Warfare 2, the Terminal map came from Modern Warfare 2. That's a big hallway. You don't have to be good in Modern Warfare 3. You could be a blind, armless person and play with your feet and still post a good score. And don't sit there and shake your head thinking I'm stupid, because you know this is true. This game isn't fun for us anymore. For those of you who played every CoD game growing up, being Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1, which is where I started, CoD 3, CoD 4, and all the way up to Modern Warfare 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I ask you guys again, where's the fun? I've put more time into CoD than I actually want to admit, and it's not fun. I used to enjoy logging on and playing with other friends. Most of my older CoD buddies don't even play anymore, because they were actually able to leave the franchise. I'm one of those naive people who think the next year's game will be better, or they're going to patch it and make it better. But I'm usually always let down, that's with the exception of Black Ops. The community itself has devoted and devolved into players who think they're better than everyone else. It's devolved into players who think hacking or modding is something fun, and players who openly abuse the newbier side of the game. The side that was meant for the newer players, that just to have a chance against experienced veterans. I don't see a problem with that. If something doesn't fight back, it's not a fun fight. I remember back in CoD 4 when everyone ran around. Well, not everyone, but there's always going to be campers, because that's the way some people play. But back in CoD 4, for every one person camping, there was like 3 or 4 people running around. And it's basically the opposite now. I play a lot of free-for-all, for those of you who know me. I play a lot of free-for-all. And I'm usually one of the few people out of an 8-man lobby in free-for-all that moves around. That's at least half of the lobby camping. And by camping, I don't mean, you know, like moving around in a building or something. I mean sitting in a corner. That's what I classify as camping. I actually had to change my playstyle so much from Black Ops. In Black Ops, I was free to just run around. Just like in CoD 4, I was free to just run around and not care. Not get killed by campers, not get killed by spawns. Can't do that in Modern Warfare 3. And you guys all know this to be true. You cannot do that in Modern Warfare 3. I had to change my playstyle to where I actually spent time finding routes on every map, on every point in the map, where I didn't have to go from point A to point B and run across map and just get shot in the back. Right now, the community, the Call of Duty community, is a huge joke. It's a joke because of us. It's a joke because of the players. We made it this way. I'm not an angel. I talk shit. I call people bad. Everyone does. Don't say you don't. There's 2 types of players in CoD. There's the players who talk shit, and there's the dirty liars. At this point, there's no hope for the community to actually rise back to where it was in CoD 4. The last time I remember hearing someone say good game at the end of a game was actually the first match in Black Ops I played. And that was something I hadn't heard since Call of Duty 4. And that was 5 years ago. You guys wonder why the CoD community has such a bad reputation? Because this is what we influence. We influence trash talk. We influence camping. We influence using lesser skilled tactics and blatantly abusing weapons. And it's the fault of all of us. The players and the developers.